Hello, everyone. Very good evening. High five to all the lovely participants. Let me welcome Mr. Anil. Good evening,
Good
Mr.
evening, sir. Good evening.
Very good evening. Wonderful. Good evening, Jijo. Good evening, Madhu, ma'am. Good evening, Pranjali. Wonderful. Good evening, Sri Shankar. Good evening to all the participants and to the people who are about to step in. That's wonderful. One thing is common in between all of us, that we respect time. At sharp 7:30, we are ready to go ahead in today's wonderful, impeccable, and amazing workshop. How many of you are excited like I? Please type I in the chat section. Let's see how many of you are excited. I am super thrilled, super charged up, super primed about today's session because, of course, the topic is something which is quite close to me. Now, before we begin, let me set some ground rules for all of you so that we can expect the maximum out of the session. I do request all of you that you need to keep your audio on mute because throughout the session, the speaker is going to share some of the most amazing contents to all of you. And to make sure that your learning goes smoothly without any interruption, it is our utmost responsibility to cooperate with the speaker. Second, of course, there will be Q&A round, and that too at the end of the workshop. But before I introduce the speaker of the day, I would like to share the incident that happened 2 years back when we first thought of coming up with an online brand, before which we had offline setup. We had planned amidst COVID to launch our first ever business to connect with a lot of people throughout the globe. And at that point of time, we surrounded ourselves with a lot of self-doubt, lot of fear of failure. To be honest, I was completely in awe. And at the same time, I had benefit of doubts that what if the business doesn't do well? What if people do not trust us? What if we fail to add quality in people's life? What if, what if? That was the fear of failure that was trying to chain us. But that is when we thought of listening to our soul and it liberated us instead of imprisoning. And that's what we are going to witness today. The topic of the day, which is, of course, failures lead to success. And that will be delivered by one of our esteemed guest speakers of the day. He's somebody who has joined 3 weeks back. And he mentioned that, sir, I also have a lot of doubts on how to go ahead, how to achieve pinnacle in my life, how to get out of this comfort zone, how to make sure that I give my 200%, not even 100, because that's what anybody and everybody can do, but I can give my 200%. And with that zeal, this man decided to work upon his utmost fear, which is, of course, fear of speaking in front of people. And with his innate and impressive explanation, and of course, his decision to go for the workshop, we give him the opportunity to come and speak today. So, ladies and gentlemen, today I would like to invite the speaker of the day. Of course, I am not the speaker. Today, the speaker is somebody from whom you can learn a lot because he has experienced so much in his life. And he has showed his willingness to come forward. He voted himself to come forward and share his experiences with all of you so that you can also learn, benefit, and grow in your life. So, would you like me to introduce the speaker? If yes, type Y in the chat section. Let me see how many of you are awake or sleeping. It's Saturday night. Type Y in the chat section if you want me to welcome the speaker. I can see only one participant. Okay, great, great, amazing. Now I can see responses coming in. So without any further ado, let me invite the speaker of the day. The speaker is none other than Mr. Satish. Are you there?
Yes, sir. Hi, Arindan, sir. How are you?
Great, Mr. Satish, and we are excited to learn from your experience today.
Same here, sir. So, shall we start?
Absolutely.
So, I think today's topic, which was given to me, is failures lead to success. Failure is an event and not a person. This is a quote by Zig Ziglar, a famous American author and a motivational speaker. I would like to thank Anita ma'am and thank you, Arindan sir, for this warm introduction. A very good evening to all of you. It's a pleasure for me to be here today. Let me start by asking a few questions. So my first question is, have you ever encountered any failure in your life? If yes, type I in the chat section. Let me see. I'll repeat my question. Have you ever encountered any failure in your life? If yes, please type I. Great. Okay, Divya, Anil, Jijo, thank you so much for your responses. My second question is, I want all of you to actively participate and provide your inputs, please. So my second question goes is, have you ever felt like giving up because of a tragic failure? If yes, type I in the chat section, please. Have you ever felt like giving up because of tragic failure? No, no, yes. Thank you all. My next question is, do you ever pray to God that you do not have to oversee any failure in your life? If yes, type I. Great, Palash, Jiju, thank you. Shushma, thank you for your responses. My next question is, how many of you have fear of failure? If yes, type I. Thank you, Abhay, Srinivas, Mr. Anil, thank you. Jijo, again, thank you for your responses. My next question is, how many of you have decided to quit even before starting anything new because of fear of failure? If yes, type I. I'll repeat my question. How many of you have decided to quit even before starting anything new because of fear of failure? Great, great. So it's an absolute delight to see all your participation. I want to share one story with all of you today. This story is of a person who belonged to a lower middle class family, whose dream was to become a hotelier and to own a chain of hotels. But he didn't have the required capital or money to get into that business. So post his graduation, he left the Gulf, that is Middle East, to work so that he can make some quick bucks and save some money which would be required for the business. He worked very hard and stayed there for around approximately 6.5 years. In these years, he couldn't save much money due to his family commitments. He had to get his younger sister married. He bought his old home renovated at Mumbai and bought a kind of a new small place, new home at his native place where his parents was insisting to settle down over there. But doing all those stuff, during the period, whatever money he could save, he came back, invested all his saving in starting his own hotel business. He opened a restaurant in Mumbai, but as this was his first time, due to lack of exposure and experience, for some external reasons and including these reasons, he failed. Post a year of running his hotel, he had to shut down his business. He suffered losses, lost all his savings which he had earned from Gulf. Now, with no money left in his hand, he started applying for a job in Mumbai. And after a lot of struggle, one day he got this opportunity. He got he got selected to work in a bank. He worked there for a few years, and once he felt he had saved enough money required for the business, he again ventured into the business and opened this time it was a fast food restaurant. Again, due to some issues with the landlord, other external issues, he had to shut down his business for the second time, losing all his saving again. But he still didn't give up. He took up his job again, this time in a media company. His role in his company was very exciting. Celebrity management was one of his responsibility in addition to the other responsibilities. He got to meet these movie actors on a daily basis. So he was getting all those attention, all those glamour and limelight. But all these factors didn't distract him or deter him of his ultimate dream, a dream of opening a chain of restaurants. So while he was working in this media company, parallelly he started working on planning, market research, branding, marketing, real estate, customer service, and loads of other factors, required for starting a restaurant business. He left this job as well when he felt he was ready with all the right ingredients required. This time he was damn sure that nothing will go wrong, and his belief came right. In few months of starting the business was catching up and had started giving him a good returns and profit. He was so excited and thrilled that he started planning on how to take this ahead, how to open chain of restaurants, how to open new branches in different states. But fate had other plans. This was a recent incident which took place in 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic and the lockdown imposed post-March 2020. He had to shut down his business. He was devastated, dejected, angry. He went through all kinds of negative feelings and emotions. He took his time to calm down. He started meeting positive people, spent time with his family and close friends. He started reading books, and watching videos of eminent personalities and studying their journey towards making their success stories. He said to himself, no matter how many times he failed, but he will not give up in life. He will not give up on his dreams. You know who that person is. You want to know who that person is. Any guesses? That person is right in front of you. And yes, this is my story. This is my failure story, you can call it. But currently, I am working in an MNC multinational company as a manager. But my dream, just waiting for the right time. Though I have failed many times in life, I will never give up. I will never give up. And I will never give up my dreams at any cost. So the purpose of this workshop is to come to a decision concerning ways to deal with failure. The talk is designed to act as a springboard for brainstorming on failures. to see the strategies the winner always used to face, fight, and surpass over their failures. So we are short of time, so I will try to be as brief as possible. In the course of my presentation, I will cover three major things. Firstly, we are going to understand why we fail and what needs to be done to ensure that it can be remodeled into experience. Secondly, we will also study failures turned success stories of some eminent personalities. And thirdly, finally, we will learn some strategies that we followed can make us strong enough to face the failure and conquer it. I would request to please hold on your questions until the end of the presentations. We will be getting time for your questions at the end. So let's get started. I will share you my screen. Are you able to see my screen?
No, sir.
I think now you can.
Yes.
Great. Okay, so this is why do we fail? Why do we fail? Have anyone thought about it or done any analysis? I'm sure you might have done that in your own ways. I have also done an analysis based on my past experience, or you can tell it that from a past failures. And I've produced certain pointers where I feel just 1 second. You're able to see my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've produced certain pointers where I feel why I or we did fail or do fail. Would like to share my experience with you. So my first important pointer is lack of persistence. Lack of persistence. What is persistence? Lack of persistence surely is one of the most crucial reasons people ultimately fail. Is that they give up too soon. Developing persistence is a mark. Just give me a second. I hope you are able to see my screen. Okay. So developing persistence is a master skill to success. No greater achievement is possible without persistence.